Alright, take two for this video. So last night I recorded about, the original length of this was about 30 some odd minutes. Recorded the audio for this painting. So what I'm going to do here is a sketch and basically a painting sketch, paint exploration while you watch. So if you're in here for the art, you can mute me and just watch the process. I sped it up this morning because I felt like I could be more condensed the second go around. So yeah, I was trying to fix something and deleted the audio that I did for a voiceover. And it was fairly late and I didn't want to do another kind of go over exactly what I just said because I'm not going off a script. Just sort of talking about ideas in my head and riffing off of that. I like to be spontaneous. So I decided I'd wait till in the morning. So now I have my coffee and we're going to start again. But I sped this up because I think, like I said, I could be more concise. So as you can see, I picked this sketch. I'm going to draw a landscape. I'd like to get more into landscape practice and drawing. But landscapes illustrate something that postmodernists hate, which is reality. What's interesting about this is that you could say that this painting is sort of postmodern. I'm taking different references and using them as inspiration to put into one piece, so I'm not like painting an actual physical real place where it is, and you could loosely say that that's a form of postmodernism. In reality, this is sort of the trick with postmodernism, one of the tricks. That's just the reality of what artists do, even traditional artists, is that they will take pieces of things that influence them and they'll combine them into their own art. It just is sort of, I'd say, like a little bit of a postmodern sort of where the art form kind of sprung forth from, but not really, because what I'm doing is still using real things, like real environments. I'm painting something that is a reflection of reality, rather than taking the pieces of things, or the representation of things and chopping them up and piecing them together in a non sequitur way to falsely pretend that I'm creating meaning out of that, like a new meaning, that it's somehow taking something apart is going to somehow, and putting it together in a new way, so destroying the concepts and ideals and morality and meaning of the past, using its tools, as you were, to transcend. I think that would be the way that postmodernists would want to describe, at least to the artists, but some of the philosophy and the street soldiers, social justice warriors, etc., would like to describe what they're doing as like creating a new sense of morality and a new sense of meaning and really ultimately a transcendence. So you get the like transhumanist movement is really about an artificial way of transcendence, and it's artificial because the art and the painting and the philosophy and the concept of destroying the old, destroying the meaning of the old, destroying the meaning of the old world, the morality, the turning it upside down, putting it together in random configurations, is artificial. You're not really creating something new. You're creating something new, but it has no foundation. There's no animus to it. There's no There's no soul. There's no meaning that you're trying to get across. You're trying to get across a new meaning for the sake of new meaning. More so the destruction of the old meaning. And what's left there is a couple of things, like it attracts a heavy dose of narcissism, and it attracts tricks. And the trick is that it's a social trick. It's getting a social peer group together with academics, critics. We're talking about art world, art critique, art academics, other artists and peers get together for shows and all marvel about how wonderfully transcendent taping a banana to a wall is. When in reality, everyday normal people who appreciate beauty, appreciate art, appreciate talent, appreciate hard work, appreciate skill, appreciate the honing of one skill, the training that goes into it, the trials, the errors, the mistakes, the masterpieces, all the things that go along with life and reality. Reality is a complex pool of good, bad, symmetrical, asymmetrical, decay, birth. It's a soup of everything, and you can't. It's where we get meaning, is from the experiences of all these things. And a true artist, whether you could be using, say, a postmodern technique, should be trying to capture that in their pieces, trying to capture some sort of your observation of reality in some way and try to shed new meaning to it, or a feeling. And that's why many artists will paint existing things, right? Try to give their emotional connection to said environment or a portrait, or getting their expression out. It's a communication to other people. And I've always disliked when people say that it's not a communication. Art is a communication. You're not merely doing it for yourself. You're doing it to communicate an expression of something to other people. And what postmodernism is expressing is merely a destruction of the old world for a mere justification of propping oneself up to appear superior. And that leads to the power dynamic and why it attracts this concept of power, because that power of feeling superior and elitism, it's trying to supplant hard work, talent, meritocracy, the years and the building off of the past and the continuation of those that came before you. It's trying to erase that just for this, to get the same outcome without all the hard work. They think it's a magic. They know it's a magic trick. The people who fall for the magic trick. They don't see the card up the sleeve. And art is a really good way of illustrating that, because it's really the most. A lot of people give their, especially like a fine art or like a painting, they give their own reaction to it away to people who appear to know better, which you can see in the culture as well. This deference to expertise. And art is not supposed to be a deferral to expertise. It's supposed to be a personal experience. But people get shamed into thinking something is amazing, like abstract art or postmodern art. Oh, I don't understand it, so I must be just too stupid to understand the meaning in this. You're not too stupid. There's no meaning. These people are empty shells that have nothing of value inside them. They have no self-worth. and they attach themselves to this philosophy because of that lack of self-worth. It's a fast trick to feel powerful, which to them is self-worth. And like original Marxism, I think, is what birthed postmodernism. The destruction, the intentional destruction and dismantling and deconstruction of what came before it, and piecing together with idealized nonsense that would never work in reality, and it's a detachment from reality. Influenced in part, by religious and spiritual sense of the mistaken of you can believe in that sort of magic, so why don't we apply the magic to quote unquote the world in reality, and then that segments on from different philosophical and art movements into postmodernism, and then postmodernism takes on Marxism and does it again. It takes the surface level things, switches out class and with race and identity, and it's just again another shell game. What we're seeing now is, I said in a previous video that we were in the epoch. I think I did this about last year, that we were at the height of the postmodern epoch, that we're deep into it, and already this year we're seeing it already on the other side. It's hit its peak, and it's starting to unravel and crumble very fast, faster than I thought it would. I thought we'd have a few more years of it, like 5 or 6 years, maybe more, where it would slowly die off, and there'll be remnants that probably still die off in the future and don't totally go away. But it is crumbling really fast, and I don't know if everyone can see it. All the pop culture, like people, like Netflix, laying off people, doing a sort of, I wouldn't call it a 180 yet, but realizing this business model of going woke is making them broke. And people are speaking up about all the nonsense. They're tired of it. Just had 2 years plus of a lockdown and suppression of liberties. People want to get back to life and have a good time. This postmodern worldview of suppression and destruction and power dynamics is incompatible with a populace that's grown tired of it and been inundated with it, and the sense that they want to experience reality and joy and beauty and pain and suffering and all that comes with it. And there's going to be two avenues of what the establishment does. And it's either going to try to appear like it's switching course and toss the more obvious postmodern, like wokeism, under the bus and pretend that it's moved on, while still incorporating postmodern ideas and their plans for takeover of authoritarian, and they'll try some maybe less obvious or different technique. But I think that they're in bed with it too much, and I don't think that they'll be able to successfully do that. I think they need to take some big falls, I think. And I think they'll continue on the same course. Some of the establishment might start ditching it, like corporations and things, and you're going to start to see a big rift between the groups that are deeply intertwined in this postmodernism and the ones that are realizing the ones that see the forest for the trees, to want to live to fight another day. Now the other option, and it's not mutually exclusive, is that they'll be aware that they're losing, and an attempt to escalate, knowing that their time is coming up, do some drastic things in order to fulfill their plans, and that's what we need to be worried about. But nonetheless, it is failing. It's crumbling fast. I do give it probably. I'd say last night I was thinking like a year or two. It's hard to predict where it's going to go, but I think you're going to see it accelerate this unraveling, and we're going to have to find a way to pick up the pieces. And I'm thinking probably afterwards there will be a new renaissance, and it'll be a lovely thing. And we're going to have to build a new culture out of the ashes of this one. So a little bit of a white pill, I think. The end is near. The end is nigh, as they say. But not for us. For postmodernism. So, I'll have a sip of coffee. F's in the chat for postmodernism. Have a good one, everyone. Peace out.